think when you mentioned great resignation, by quitting, I think a lot of people have settled into the job that they moved into or committed to staying in. So I see a lot of positivity, some concerns about recession in the new year, but this is a great time to take stock of where you are and what goals you want for 2023. I think people have to get really good at hybrid working. You now have a totally new skill set of having to track people down, of having to build relationships in person and virtually, and also figuring out how you're going to communicate and thrive in that environment. That's exactly right. And now, end of the year, when you're doing your annual review, thinking about your compensation, this is the time for those of you who stayed to talk to your manager and your leadership and say, I committed, I was loyal, here's what I accomplished. So make sure that you're being rewarded and acknowledged for the fact that you stuck around. Yeah, anytime somebody compliments you, anytime somebody praises you, anytime you have a really big accomplishment, keep it in an email folder, jot it down somewhere so that you have proof of all the good things you did. A lot of us forget things that happened earlier in the year, and now is the time to go through your old inbox and archives, find those messages, and bring them out to show examples of what you accomplished. You know, I think it's all about relationships. I know somebody who started a remote job during COVID and called each of his colleagues and said, let's have a 15-minute conversation over Zoom. I want to get to know you just personally. We do that casually in the workplace, but sometimes we forget when we're working remotely. So while it's important to read the employee handbook, I think the one-on-one relationships with people at every level in your organization is the most important thing you can do to acclimate. I hate this trend. I think people like the name, and yeah, it's a good name. Like, I'm sure it makes a good headline. But the reality is, if you're doing your job and accomplishing your tasks and you're showing up every day, that is doing your job. If you're not accomplishing what you need to accomplish and you're slacking, that's not doing your job. So to me, it's sort of a reaction maybe to the idea that people used to work too hard, right? And go way too far and get burned out. Maybe it's like a natural correction. People are saying, you know what, I need to have some balance in my life. And a lot of people lost that balance. That said, I think the most important thing in a job salary negotiation is not to talk about yourself. So to take everything that you've accomplished and you bring, but put it in terms of how it benefits the organization you're working for. So not, I am doing a good job, I need the money, I've accomplished a lot, but here's what my accomplishments did for the organization. Here are the results I got for the bottom line of the company. So take what you did, but translate it into language that has value to the organization you work for. The world is a multi-generational place. We talked about people working later into their lives. I know a lot of viewers said, I want to work into my 50s, my 60s, my 70s. That means that a skill that everybody needs is being able to communicate and work with people who might be 30 or 40 years different in age. So use your curiosity, just like any element of diversity. If you're on a team with people who are vastly different ages from you, talk to them, get to know them, talk about your different experiences. Rather than seeing age as good or bad, better or worse, more experienced or less, just say, hey, we're different. I want to hear your perspective. And I think with that curious approach, you're going to come to better outcomes and a more robust network. If you need a job, you want to know people at all different age levels who might make an introduction for you.